So my name is Jay Shaw. This is my wife Paula, as she mentioned, and our son Isaiah. So my life before Christ, I grew up Presbyterian for most of my life, and I didn't really know what that meant per se growing up. For me, church was more going to hang out with friends, hang out with family. I just didn't really understand the main point of it per se. I didn't really see what God was doing for me while I was going to church there. The older I got, the farther I distanced myself from church, and that's when I kind of got into some bad habits. Mental health took a big hit, anxiety definitely increased, and I just wasn't really having a good time with a whole lot of things, we'll say. So my life wasn't great before I had Christ in my life. But how I came to follow Christ, I had a cousin who was 16 and he died in a farm accident when I was super young. His name was Alex Webster, and it was really hard for our family to kind of deal with that. And they always said that Alex's spirit is an eagle. So anytime that I would see an eagle, I would need to think of him or know that I'm going to be okay. I lived in Alberta for a couple of years, and when I was out there, I was framing houses. I was doing a whole bunch of kind of stuff outside, working long hours. Again, not really doing great for my mental health and my depression. And there was actually a time when I was at West, and I was having a really tough day, and I honestly just felt like I needed to pray. But I was just like, give me like something. I need something because I feel so lost right now, and I just don't know what else I'm supposed to do with my life. That's when I mentioned I kind of felt like that kind of movement through my body. I looked up in the sky, and sure enough, I seen an eagle kind of flying above our job site, and it wasn't really flying anywhere else. So, and to see that, I know everyone has a different kind of story, but to see that eagle for me was like, all right. That was pretty moving. I became instantly emotional, and I decided from then on that I knew there was a higher power, and I knew if somebody was always looking out for me, no matter what struggles I kind of may be facing with. So shortly after that, in Canada out West, I actually moved back to Prince Edward Island, and a few months when I moved home, I met my wife Paula. So again, I just kind of God working through me to kind of get me back on the right path. Whenever, as my wife mentioned, we moved to Kingston, Ontario, we found a great church and a great family body. So that was very helpful to kind of help me along this journey. And the church body there was great. The life group, as Paula mentioned, was fantastic. We had a great friend group there, and that was the first time I really felt like connected with people of the same interest, with having God and Jesus in their life, and it changed me. And once I noticed all these things in my life were happening, it was all for a reason, and I always look back to that, and I'm super thankful for even being able to experience those things. And whenever I came home, we were looking kind of for a similar church, per se, and sure enough, came across you guys here at Cornerstone, and we felt welcomed instantly, so we're very thankful for that. And ever since we kind of moved back home, a lot of good things have been happening. We're more aware of what Christ is doing in our lives, how God is working through us. We're making a point to acknowledge that, not letting kind of just it kind of be dust underneath the rug per se. So just being able to do that has definitely helped us in the long run. My life since deciding to follow Christ, as I mentioned, we've just been seeing a lot more things kind of happen in our lives, whether it's just hanging out with the family or listening to music. We're just, again, more aware that God's working through us. So being baptized today is a big deal for me because, as I mentioned, I was at a Presbyterian church growing up, and I was baptized when I was younger there. So it's a little different. I wasn't, again, aware of what was happening when I was a baby. So being able to kind of live my life through Christ, I'm really excited for it. I'm just excited to kind of see what comes with it. Yeah.
So for both of you, it's really been people in your life who know and trust Jesus deeply, and their influence has had incredible impact, whether it's your half-sister or Avery or Auburn and Mike.
Yeah, and I mean, we can only hope that Jesus works through us so that we can have even the slightest bit of impact on somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the slightest.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.